from the director of Pee-wee's Big Adventure. Adam and Barbara are
ghosts.
What's the good of being a ghost if you can't frighten people away?
Their house is being haunted by the living.
Maybe the house could use a little remodeling.
And they can't scare them into leaving.
They're dead. It's a little late to be neurotic.
So they're calling on Beetlejuice.
Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice!
Who's no ordinary ghost.
You don't want his help.
Can you be scary?
What do you think of this?
Now, the party's over.
You want somebody out of the house? I want to get somebody out of your house.
But the fun has just begun.
It's showtime. Learn to throw your voice, fool your friends, fun and party. Not bad.
This is amazing.
Want a cigarette? Oh, no, thank you.
Oh, yeah, here I come, baby.
He's guaranteed to put some life
Attention, keyword shoppers.
in your afterlife. Michael Keaton is Beetlejuice.
I'm the ghost with the most, babe.
Welcome to Dorking Out. My name is Sonia Mansfield, and I've seen The Exorcist 167 times, and it keeps getting funnier every time I see it. Joining me is my podcasting sister from another mister and the co-host of Dorking Out, Margot D. Hello, my friend.
Are
you dancing?
I'm calypsoing over
Yes,
here.
you are. We are dorking out about 1988's Beetlejuice. Obviously, the sequel has come out this weekend, Beetlejuice. We will talk about that after Beetlejuice. So that's a little teaser for you. 88's Beetlejuice, directed by Tim Burton, screenplay by Michael McDowell and Warren Scockaren, I think is how you pronounce it. I don't know. Starring Michael Keaton, who we love.
Yep.
We love. Alec Baldwin. He's in it. Geena Davis.
Who we love.
Yes. Jeffrey Jones. He's in it.
Who we don't love. He's in it. Yes.
Catherine O'Hara, who we love.
Who we love.
Winona Ryder, who we love.
Adorable.
Yes, adorable. Everybody drink. Sylvia Sidney. Robert Goulet shows up in there. Dick Cavett. This movie has everything.
Has everything.
It has everything. Robert Goulet and Dick Cavett.
New England.
Yes. Oh, I'm sorry. I should also mention Gene Shaddix, who plays Otho, because he deserves his shout out. Did you see this in the theater, Margot?
Yes, definitely. I think I saw it a couple of times.
Yeah.
If memory serves. It was a hit. It was a big, big movie to see.
It was a big hit. I saw it in the theater too. I loved Pee-wee's Big Adventure, which had come out, which Tim Burton had directed the year before. And this looked like that plus more. And I was very excited to see it. And, you know, I don't think it's going to be a surprise to anyone that you and I both love this movie, I assume.
Yes. It totally. This is when, like, I was a total Tim Burton completist. I was like, whatever he's doing, I'm on board. And then we'll get to that. But
yeah,
this is the ascendancy of his career.
Absolutely. Like, because it was like, well, I'm gonna list out some Tim Burton movies later. But like, this was like Pee-wee's Big Adventure, Beetlejuice, Batman. Like he's on the rise, and I think Geena Davis had already maybe the following year she wins her Oscar, and Alec Baldwin was
next
still
year.
Like Alec Baldwin was so cute in this movie.
He was in Knots Landing. He played a preacher.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't know that.
Remember that?
I remember he was in a soap, but I didn't watch Knots Landing.
He was, oh my God, with Lisa Hartman before she was Lisa Hartman Black. He was hot.
Yeah.
He's very hot. He's a handsome man. I mean, we got
He is, yeah. Give him his props. He's a handsome man.
I'll give him his props. He's the best looking one of the Baldwins.
Yes, I was a big Alec Baldwin fan until I wasn't. Let's just say. Right. But he's very cute in this. Like He's playing someone who's very kind. Like, it opens with this like really great like shot at the beginning where they're going through like the model of the town that Alec Baldwin's character has made, and he's so kind, right? It's got like a spider on it, and he's so harmless. He doesn't even kill the spider. He like takes it outside. And Geena Davis is so like adorable, and as a couple, they are so wholesome. They just like they live in this tiny little town. They own the hardware store. They have this beautiful big house that they're renovating, and putting up their wallpaper and doing all this stuff. And then they've got this, I'm just going to jump right in, this bitch named Jane, who's like the real estate agent, she's such a bitch. Are we supposed to think she's a bitch? I think she's a bitch.
Yeah.
Yeah. She shows up and she's like, she's sending out like photos of their house to people, even though their house isn't for sale. And she's like, it's a big house. It should be with a big family. I'm like, bitch, fuck off. It's not your business.
I know how that feels because somebody, my previous landlord tried to buy me out of this apartment that I'm in because I'm rent stabilized and made a big deal like, you live alone, you and your cats.
It's not your business.
None of your business, and fuck you, and don't threaten me with a good time. This is what I created.
Yeah, like you pay your rent just like anyone else. Like, it pissed me off in this viewing in a way that it hadn't hit me before. Because
you're angry.
Yeah, I am. Mainly because they're clearly trying, and it's like not happening for that. When I was younger,
right.
you don't think about that stuff. But now, as an older person watching it, I'm like, it's not your business if they have a family or not. So they're spending their vacation at home, just working on their home, and they get into a car accident. They swerve to miss a dog because they're so lovely, and their car goes over the bridge, and they are now dead. And they find a handbook called The Handbook for the Recently Deceased. And it reads like stereo instructions, apparently. They need an editor. That book needs an editor, obviously. Margot, you were up to that task. You could fix that book. Time for you to do a rewrite of The Handbook for the Recently Deceased.
I forgot about the handbook. I worked at the mall at Pleasanton Stonebridge Mall, and I worked at a store that sold, this is so 90s, but it sold aerobic wear and dance wear, leotards and tights. And so every October we were allowed, instead of playing aerobics videos like Kathy Smith and Richard Simmons, we would play Halloween videos. And they gave us all these really old Universals, which are fine, but we all got bored of them quickly. So we had Kiss Meets the Phantom of the Park, Young Frankenstein, and Beetlejuice.
All three of these are great.
They're all, but I've seen them like so many times.
Yes.
And you get to the point where like, I remember certain scenes from the movie, but I haven't sat down and watched this movie in over 25 years. So it was a real fun pleasure to kind of, I think this movie is really, it's 90 minutes. It's really paced quickly, and it's paced perfectly. It's just like how a movie should go.
Yes, there's no extra scenes in this movie.
Yeah.
The story is tight. And like the look of it is so great. There's a ton of jokes in this movie. Everyone is like perfectly cast and going for it in the best way. It's just such a delight. And Beetlejuice became like such a thing in the like goth
culture.
Yeah, in the culture, and in like the goth community in particular. Like Tim Burton movies have, like Beetlejuice, Nightmare Before Christmas, became like, these are the thing. And I'm not shitting on it. Like you could go to like Hot Topic and like everything was like Beetlejuice and Nightmare Before Christmas. And I went and saw Beetlejuice, and there were a bunch of people there and they're like Beetlejuice stuff. Their shirts and their black and white suits, and this movie's beloved, to say the least. So they're dead. They have their handbook, and they're not overly bothered. They're like, well, we'll just stay in our house and we'll always be together and work on our house. And Alec Baldwin's like, this must be heaven. You know, like we just get to be together. To which Geena Davis says, like, there's too much dust for it to be heaven, which I think is very cute. And have we met Beetlejuice at this point? I don't think so, but we know he's scoping them out.
Right.
And meanwhile, shitty real estate agent like instantly sells the house to the Dietzes from New York. And they are the opposite of the Maitlands in every way. They hate the Maitlands like country style that they have going. And the Dietzes are Jeffrey Jones, Catherine O'Hara, who's so fucking funny in this movie. Like,
and beautiful. I've never realized how beautiful she really is.
Yeah.
Like, she is a beautiful, beautiful.
Yes.
That skin.
Yes.
That hair, the lip shade that she uses. I mean, she's wearing something goofy for 1988. It's like overdone New York artist wannabe.
Yes.
But she could sell it. Like, it still kind of works.
Yes, it absolutely.
I know.
So she looks amazing. Her character's hilarious. Again, I haven't watched this movie in a while, so watching it, I had way more empathy for her character than I did in years past, because she married this man who clearly, like, his thing is property development or whatever, and they live in New York and they have this city life. And then all of a sudden he just decides they're going to live in the country. And it's like, this isn't what she wants. It's not what she signed up for. I had a little bit more sympathy for her this time. But she looks amazing. She's hilarious. When they're going through the house and she's like, oh, look, an indoor outhouse. And we also meet Lydia, which is Winona Ryder.
Baby Winona Ryder. She's like 15.
Yeah. And she's so
young she
good.
Was. She really is.
I think she's always good, but she's good in this. As you're like, I don't know, she was the template for goth girls after this.
Oh, I'm sure.
And also just
before there was a Wednesday Addams.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. I mean, Wednesday was technically
continuation.
Yes.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Your modern day
Wednesday Addams for the 80s.
Exactly. Like everyone. And by the way, after this, she, I think Heathers comes out the same year or the year after, I forget. Every man I knew in college was obsessed with Winona Ryder and was like in love with Winona Ryder. And
they should have been.
And they should have been. And by the way, all the women too. We all were. Yeah. Everyone was obsessed with Winona Ryder.
I get it. I can't get mad about that.
Nope.
Yeah, she wins.
So immediately, Catherine O'Hara's character wants to change the house, gut out the house. She has that great, if you don't let me gut this house and make it my own, I'll go crazy and I'll take you with me. And he's like, okay, just not this room, please. And, immediately her and Otho, her gay interior decorator friend, are going through the house and spray painting things. And the Maitlands are now basically trapped in the attic. And they feel like they're trapped in hell because they're with this family who's the opposite of them in every way. Oh, and this movie also does another thing that Tim Burton used to do really well. The mix of stop motion animation.
Yeah.
It's the stuff with the sandworms is really, really well done. And the mixing of the model and the real life and all of the stuff that's in the afterlife. He does a lot of world building here, and he does it really quickly, and it's really smart. Mm-hmm. It's really well done in a way that his later movies, I don't know if people are afraid to tell him no or what, but it just wasn't as tight after this. So let's see what happens then. Should we talk about how much we love Michael Keaton?
I can spend my whole life doing that. We can make a whole podcast every week just talking about why we like Michael Keaton.
He's
He's a delight.
So good in this. I actually don't know if Michael Keaton got the props he deserves for what he's doing here. Like,
it's a very showy part.
Yes.
And it's easy to kind of think like, oh, he's just being goofy. But you have to consider there's not much of a character there. Like, he has to figure it out.
Yeah.
And he's using the props that he has around him. And then he has to trust that, the improv that he does will work for what they want to do with the scene later and with the other actors. And there's nobody else who could play the part. When I hear that there's other people they considered, I'm like, yeah, whatever. But I mean, Jim Carrey, if you think of Jim Carrey, yeah, he could do the part, but he would be so much more annoying. It would
annoying.
He would not be able to cap it. Like,
no.
Michael Keaton knows when to cap it, when to like hold back just a bit and, help you like wait for it,
Yeah, they got a comedic actor, not a stand-up comedian, to play this part. And he's not doing like bits, but Beetlejuice is basically Bugs Bunny. Mm-hmm. And I don't know, it just benefits from Michael Keaton because he doesn't go too far. And he's going really big, but it's not too far. It's not annoying like Jim Carrey would be. When Jim Carrey is a very, very good description, Margot. Like, he would be too much.
He would. That's just how he does it.
Yeah. And he's really, really good in this. And I'll talk about Beetlejuice later. But so now the Maitlands, Geena Davis and Alec Baldwin, are annoyed that these people are in their house and they want to get rid of them, but they don't know how to do it. They don't bother reading the handbook because it, again, reads like stereo instructions. So they decide to go to like what is the equivalent, I guess, of the DMV in the afterlife. And it's basically hell. It's like hell. It's like long lines, people that are over their jobs and don't really care to help you. And
right.
They meet with what's her name? The old lady, Sylvia Sidney, as Juno. And this is the part that gets dark. It's like she's got this like slash in her neck and she's smoking and the smoke's coming out. The effects are really good in this movie too.
Nobody played an old battle axe like she did. She really put a lot of personality into it. She's so funny in this movie. Like, it's yes. Dark what she's doing, her job,
yes,
and everything that's happening around her. But she's so funny and so like with the eye roll and everything, so over it all.
Yes,
that makes it funny.
And this is a delicate thing that the movie is doing here because it's talking about death, which is dark and fucking sad, but it's not going too dark. It's not being mean. It's like just dark enough. Mm-hmm. I don't know if that makes sense, but it's like just dark enough to be like weird and funny and not morbid, I guess. Because it's what they're dealing with there is, and again, the effects are so good. The man with the shrunken head, mm-hmm. the guy who's choked on a bone. There's the magician assistant that's been cut in half, and her like body is sitting next to her legs, like.
And the guy that's smushed that goes into the filing cabinet.
Yes. I'm feeling a little flat. It's all of that stuff is so well done. So Juno tells them, like, if you want to get rid of these people, like, get rid of them yourself. Don't use Beetlejuice, whatever you do, because he's the worst. And they're like, okay, sure. And they immediately like try to actually, I totally skipped over the part where like they realize Lydia can see them. Winona Ryder can actually see them because they say like people who are strange and unusual can see ghosts, and Lydia's like, I'm strange and unusual. And she can see them, but nobody else can see them. And they form like an instant bond. It's really cute, I think. Like Geena Davis, like clearly, thinks that she's a sweet girl and they like her very much. And they try to get Lydia to tell her parents to move away. And that doesn't work, to say the least.
Right.
And the dad, Jeffrey Jones' character, because he just can't stop wanting to make money. I don't know. He's like, I need to relax, but he also wants to make money while he's there, I guess. So he decides he's going to buy the whole town, and he's trying to lure people from the city to their place. So they get some people to come out, including Dick Cavett, who I don't think does a lot of acting. Doesn't he just usually play himself?
He's in a lot of movies, but he plays himself. Yeah. He'll if you have a place for Dick Cavett, he will show up. I'm pretty sure of that. Him and Dr. Joyce Brothers.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
They were always on talk shows all the time in the 70s. That was their thing. Or game shows, too. Game shows.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I was talking about. So, Catherine O'Hara's character is preparing dinner for everybody. She's lured some people to come over the bridge and come visit them. And Lydia's like, please, we should leave. The house is haunted. And she's like, what did she say? She says, I told them you were too mean to be scared. And she goes, how dare you talk about me to others? She's such a good character. And then we get this really famous scene where they're having dinner together and they get possessed by Alec Baldwin and Geena Davis, and they dance to Harry Belafonte's Deo.
Yeah, because he's a Harry Belafonte fan.
Yes.
You find for some reason.
Yeah, it's very random.
It's rather random.
And they get them to do this dance, and Catherine O'Hara again is selling it like no one else in that scene. Her face is telling you one thing, and her body is doing something else. She's amazing. I love her so much. And instead of being scared, of course, they're all delighted, which hurts the Maitlands' feelings because they really wanted to scare them.
They really wanted to scare them. Bless their heart.
Yes. And so it doesn't work. They're disappointed. Otho steals the handbook at one point, and that's when the Maitlands call Beetlejuice. They decide they need some professional help, and Beetlejuice calls himself a bioexorcist, that he can get rid of the living for you. And they meet. He's really trying to make his big sale. I love when he puts on Alec Baldwin's clothes, and he's like, look, we shop at the same store. And he's still he's manhandling Geena Davis at the same time, trying to cop a feel and kiss her and all that. It's really, he's so gross. He's so gross. Ugh. But Michael Keaton isn't gross. I mean,
no, he's playing a gross.
Yeah, I'm Michael,
person.
Even as Beetlejuice, he could still have all this. I'm fine with it.
Yeah. No one's arguing that, right?
No, I would hope not. We're all friends here. We all know. Oh, and Beetlejuice shows up and actually does really traumatize the Dietzes. He scares Lydia. He drops Otho off the stairs. He drops the dad off the stairs. He does something to the mom. I forget. He looks up her dress. He's so gross. What else happens after that? Oh, now they've decided they're going to lure Robert Goulet up and his wife because she really is into the afterlife. And they are going to sell him on this idea of the ghost house and turn the whole town into I don't know, a ghost amusement park or something like that. And I will give the movie some credit in that this is just really briefly mentioned. It's not a whole thing where it's now we have to save the whole town, which I think other movies would do. This one does not do that. And they have this seance where Otho's reading from the handbook, and they're using Adam and Barbara's wedding clothes to bring them. And it's already been established that exorcisms are death for the dead. And this shit's really sad.
It's terribly sad. Geena Davis all old.
Yeah.
And wrinkly in her dress and her wedding dress.
It's so sad. And
yeah.
That part was like really bumming me out this time. Again, I haven't watched this movie in a long time, so what a bummer. And you're watching these two characters because we really like Adam and Barbara. Wait, I called him Adam. I don't know if he's Adam. He's Adam. Adam and Barbara. They're really sweet, kind people who literally wouldn't hurt a spider, and now they're
dead, and they're stuck in the attic, and they're really hoping to take over the rest of their house. So they're like, we're going to scare these people, but you can't scare them. They're just going to make money off the place that it's haunted.
Yeah, and now they're being like killed again in an exorcism, and watching each other like grow old and wrinkly and falling apart, and it's really fucked up. And at this point, Lydia is like, well, I'm going to call Beetlejuice and he can help them. And he makes a deal with her, like, you have to marry me after.
Which, yeah, I forgot about that. I don't know why I forgot about that, but I forgot about that whole thing. And I'm like, she's 15 years old, y'all.
Yeah.
I get it. He's probably 100 or 1,000 years old.
Right.
It's like, therefore, doesn't have like,
Who does he think he is? Jerry Lee Lewis?
I mean, what are you, Jerry Seinfeld? Like, what is your deal, dude?
Me and Moira getting married.
Me and Moira get married.
Margot does such a good impression of that. So she's like, yeah, fine, whatever. And he shows up, and we get a lot of really great like practical effects where he gets rid of Robert Goulet and his wife, and like Catherine O'Hare's art comes to life and like wraps her creepy art that everyone is scared of, like wraps her up and her husband. And he's like, okay, now it's, and instantly like Winona Ryder changes into this like red wedding dress. Very iconic, I will say. I saw quite a few people walking around with that dress last night at the theater, or dresses like it, I should say. Super fans were out last night. And
was it at Alamo Drafthouse?
It was
SF?
in San Francisco, and they had they had like Beetlejuice like popcorn buckets that are like sandworms, and like it was really crowded. I mean, it's always fun to see a movie like that with a crowd, and well, we'll talk about it in a minute. So Beetlejuice lives up to his end of the bargain. He saves everybody like he said he would. And then he's like, time to get married. And it just, there's a big battle where he's like trying to stop Adam and Barbara from saying his name 3 times. The whole thing where like he throws the zipper over Geena Davis's mouth. So funny. And eventually they ride a sandworm, and the sandworm comes in and eats Beetlejuice. And then there's like this awkward, like the Dietzes and the Maitlands standing there together. And poor Beetlejuice, he was just doing what he was supposed to do. They hired him for it. It's not his fault.
No, he's just, yeah.
He's
like the bear.
He's
the bear. Do you trust Beetlejuice or a man? I'll trust Beetlejuice.
I'll pick Beetlejuice. Do you pick a man or Beetlejuice? I guess I'll pick Beetlejuice.
He's a little more predictable.
I guess so. Like he does exactly what he's supposed to do. And so he ends up in the waiting room, in the DMV style waiting room, and eventually he gets his head shrunk too. I think this might be a good look for me. And the Maitlands,
that waiting room you couldn't do today. There's a couple of people there. You would not.
No, that part has not aged well. And no. I will tell you, they lean into that a little bit in the second one. Like, I'm like, oh, okay. All right. We're keeping the shrunken head thing, huh? Okay. It's a choice. So it has a very happy ending. Like, the Maitlands are back decorating their house the way they want it. the Dietzes and the Maitlands have worked it out. Like, and Barbara and Lydia clearly have this very like parental relationship, and they and then Lydia gets to dance to Shake 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 Sonora while they're all
Jump
dancing
in the line.
and all the dead football players. Coach, I don't think we survived that accident. You think?
Not your coach.
Not your coach.
He lived.
It's 90 minutes. So tight.
It's got the 3 acts. It just does it. They let Michael Keaton do what Michael Keaton, but not too much. It leaves you wanting more, for sure.
Yes, for sure. Like I like a lot of people, I was pretty excited for a sequel. Did I think they needed it? No, but I was like, hey, I'm in. I'll totally go see it. And because this one is great. It's just it's a entertaining, funny movie with like really clever visual effects, a lot of them practical, perfectly cast. Like Winona Ryder, so good. Catherine Hare, everyone's so good. I really, really like it. And then when you read like who they originally wanted for Beetlejuice, one of them was Sammy Davis Jr.
Tim Burton is a very odd guy. I'm not the first person to say that. But sometimes, you hear about what I really wanted to do was blank. And it's like, good God, man.
This is why
you need people around you.
Yes. This is why he needs people around to tell him no. So then other people were Dudley Moore and Sam Kinison. No. Dudley Moore, maybe. Sam Kinison, definitely not.
The cocaine budget would be way out of their reach. Belushi level.
They would have to cut out on the visual effects.
Good God.
And then for Lydia, for Winona Ryder's part, like anyone who was young at that time basically auditioned. Sarah Jessica Parker auditioned. I'm like, she can't be dark enough. Brooke Shields auditioned. Lori Loughlin auditioned. Diane Lane. Justine Bateman. I love Justine Bateman.
She's great.
Molly Ringwald. I don't know if Molly Ringwald could go dark. Juliette Lewis. Juliette Lewis could do it.
Yeah, she would have been good too.
Jennifer Connelly. I'm like, could Jennifer Connelly be funny? I don't know. Apparently, Alyssa Milano was a runner-up for the role.
I'm not shocked. She was funny in Who's the Boss?
Yeah.
Like she had a following and she could do comedy.
Yeah. And then go ahead.
But Winona Ryder is perfect. Let's just be clear.
And then for the originally cast for Catherine O'Hare's role, they wanted to get Angelica Houston.
Which I can see.
Yeah. But Catherine O'Hare's perfect.
Great. Okay. I mean, I'm all about O'Hara.
Yeah.
But she did the Addams Family movies, and she's very funny in those. And I love Morticia Addams.
She's so good in those
Carolyn
movies.
Jones as Morticia Addams is like my favorite, but damn, Angelica Houston does it really well.
Have we done any of the Addams Family movies?
No, we should.
Maybe
the second one especially is super funny.
Maybe we should do the second one in October. That would be really, really fun. I love those movies, especially. I love the first two. I think they're both fun, but the second one has Joan Cusack.
The best jokes. It has Joan Cusack and it has the best jokes because that's Rudnick wrote it.
Yeah. So, are you going to see Beetlejuice?
Am I going to go to a theater to see it? No. Because I listened to Pop Culture Happy Hour and our friend Kristen Meinzer was on there, and she gave her download of what she thinks of this flick, and didn't sound too positive to me. It didn't sound not enough to risk COVID. COVID's spiking all over the city now.
Yeah.
And even though I just got my booster shot, I'm still like, this wouldn't be worth getting sick over.
It's not. I'm really bummed to say this because it's been a while since I walked out of a theater and I was like really disappointed. Like I feel like I usually pick pretty well about what I will see in the theater. And this one, I was like, this is disappointing. And I think it's 100% because Tim Burton has gotten to a place where people don't tell him no. I think he thinks all of his ideas are good ideas, and they're not.
No, it's been diminishing returns for him.
Yes.
It's very spotty, his work, for me, like last 20 years plus.
Yeah, I saw, is it called Charlie and the Chocolate Factory or Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory? His version. I saw that and I hated it. Hated it. And like, since then, I was like, I can't get on the train. Like, I don't.
Well, he did also the Planet of the Apes movie that sucked. There's a few that he's done. I liked The Demon of Barber Street. I liked, but even, I mean, I'm trying to think, like, it's really hard to find the ones that he's done that I've really enjoyed.
It's been a long time.
It's been a long time.
Yeah. This one, the new one, first of all, I'm talking when I was talking about the delicate dance between, like, we're talking about death and they do, even though Beetlejuice is about what it's about, I feel like they handle it very well. And I think in this one, it feels mean spirited. I was super disappointed. There's like 5 stories going on in this movie.
Can you give kind of an overview of what it, like, how they're different? And,
yeah. So in this one,
what it is, basically. Yeah.
In this one, Lydia now is like a medium on TV. She's like one of those shows you would see on TLC, basically. And she's in a relationship with Justin Theroux. Is that how you pronounce his name?
Yeah.
Yeah. And like, he's clearly not the right person for her. And she doesn't seem like she's really into him, but at the same time, she kind of is. It's very strange. And she has a daughter, and her daughter is Jenna Ortega. Perfectly cast. Like, if you're going to get someone to play your Winona Ryder's daughter, you get Jenna Ortega. You
get the girl who played Wednesday
Yes,
Addams.
It's perfect.
Yeah. It writes. Yeah, I'm on board. Like that I get. You got me there.
Yeah, put Winona Ryder, Aubrey Plaza, and Jenna Ortega in a movie together. Like, they could play sisters. They're really good. But they are like kind of estranged. Like, the Jenna Ortega character doesn't believe that her mom can really see ghosts. Her father, Lydia's ex-husband, has passed away, and Jenna Ortega's character is mad that her mom can apparently see ghosts, but not her dad. Like, she's like, the one ghost I want you to see, you don't see. And that it makes me feel terrible, because I'm like,
that's not fun.
I don't like any of that for Lydia.
No.
It also opens with, like, Jeffrey Jones's character dies, and he's not in the movie for obvious reasons. We did a whole What a Creep episode about Jeffrey Jones, if you want to go hear it. And so, like, it opens with, like, he's dying, and he died, and that's why they're going back to the house. And so they go back to the house, and also, like, Beetlejuice is still, like, in the waiting room, or he's, like, running a detective agency now, and everyone who works for him in this afterlife agency is people with shrunken heads. There's, like, a cop, an actor who played a cop who's also in the afterlife, and that's Willem Dafoe, and he's there for some reason. Monica Bellucci is gorgeous, walking around, and she's a soul sucker. Again, 5 different stories going on, and none of them are good.
No, that doesn't. Oof.
None of them are good.
So, I'm sorry. So Geena Davis and Alec Baldwin are not in the sequel because they're dead.
We are told that they found a loophole, and that's why, and they've moved on to the next place, and that's why they're not. Yeah. Basically. And then for some reason, and I hate this kind of shit, so forgive me if everyone's like, that's petty, fuck off. It is going to be petty. I don't like it when movies make their own rules and build their own worlds and then break those rules. That shit pisses me off. And Margot will laugh at me because we know, like, I realize that it's petty, nitpicky bullshit. But for some reason, everyone who dies in this movie ends up at the DMV office. And I was like, well, that's not what's supposed to happen. That's not what happened in the first one. Why is it happening in this one? And that, for some reason, pissed me off. Like, I can't.
Well, yeah, that inconsistency.
Yes. I'm like, you set up the rules of how this world works, and then you break the rules for no reason. That shit kind of pisses me off. Again, I'm super petty. It's lazy is what it is. It's lazy.
Yeah.
And so there's that. There's a whole other thing where like Jenna Ortega's character like meets a boy in the small town. I don't want to spoil that for people, but that stuff is also super dark and mean-spirited. It's nasty, and I don't like it. And a lot of people in the movie die, and we're supposed to think it's funny. And I don't think it's funny. I think it's mean. They do it so well in Beetlejuice, and they don't do it well here. I don't know. There's like a whole room of like influencers in the movie, and they die, and we're supposed to think that's funny. And I'm like, because they're influencers, they deserve to die.
Oh, the cheapest joke.
I'm like, that's not funny to me. I think it's shitty.
Yeah,
Like,
it's so I'm so sick of that. Like, what do they actually do for a living? Blah, blah, blah.
it's not your. Who cares?
Who cares? And you know what? Nothing in life ever changes.
Yeah.
Like, fucking deal.
Yeah. And again, like Beetlejuice is sometimes a good guy, sometimes a bad guy. They continually call him for help. He shows up, he helps them, and then they fuck him over over and over. And I'm like, I don't know if I like that. It's very. The crowd seemed to be enjoying it. Maybe they were going to like it no matter what. Because again, they're all wearing the gear and they're in it.
Yeah, they got all dressed up and everything. It's a night out. So.
Yeah, I mean, they clapped when it was over. They were all doing the thing, and I saw it with my friend.
Are they drinking?
For sure. For sure.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, Fred and I looked at each other like, oh. Like, we're like being all quiet until we like leave the theater, and then we're like, well, that was a huge disappointment. I was so disappointed. There's like random musical numbers in the movie that like, because I think they're trying to capture stuff from the first one, but it just doesn't work. There's some fan service things that just don't work. I think Tim Burton needs an editor real bad.
Yeah.
I'm so disappointed. I really wanted to like it. By the way, Catherine O'Hara, again.
I hear she's great in the movie.
She's great. It is no fault of Winona Ryder or Jenna Ortega or Catherine O'Hara or Michael Keaton. They are all great. They are doing the best they can with a movie that's a total fucking mess. It's a total mess. So disappointed.
Oh, it sounded like it, like from Pop Culture Happy Hour.
Yeah, it's
their
again
description of it. But yeah, you're. I'll see it when it's streaming, and I'm not even going to pay a rental. I'll wait till it's streaming for free on something.
Yes, I think that's the way to see it. If you really, really want to see it, I just considering all the awesome people that they got to be in it, they could have picked one good story out of these five. They could have give us one good story instead of 5 lame ones. That's what I wanted. Like,
yeah,
the first one is so, and maybe it doesn't help that I just watched the first one and then went and saw this one, because that's hard to live up to. But like that movie was a big old mess. Like, Tim Burton, my friend, get an editor. Get someone in your life who'll tell you no.
No, that's not happening.
Your movie plays like the handbook. It's like a big old mess. Needs an editor. Oh, so disappointing. I'm sorry to give people bad news. I want to share good things with people, and I'm sorry. I wish it was good, but anyway.
Alas.
I have some other Tim Burton movies.
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, so Pee-wee's Big Adventure.
Awesome.
One of my all-time faves.
We covered it, right?
Yes, we did. Batman.
We love it.
We love it. Also did an episode on that one. Edward Scissorhands.
I like it fine.
It has hardcore fans.
Yeah. I remember
I
feeling
liked
like
it at
that.
the time.
At the time, I was like, I remember going, huh.
I'm wondering.
And that's about as much as I thought about it, but people really were obsessed with it.
I'm curious how it would play for me now, as opposed to like, then I was like, oh, I like that. I like how it makes me feel, or I like the world he built. But I'm curious what I would think about it now. Ed Wood.
Good movie.
That's a good one. Like, that one's probably one of his best, for sure.
Yeah.
Mars Attacks.
I'm one of those people, like, it's fine.
Yeah.
But I think it's also a missed opportunity. I think, like, that there's something not working there for me.
Yes.
And it's the script. I don't know if it's the script or the performances. It usually goes back to the script, and that's when people can't decide on things.
This one's a big old mess. It's a big old mess. And there's parts of it that, like, I really like.
Yeah.
I actually think,
like, Sarah Jessica Parker on the dog, the head on the dog. That works. Like, there's stuff there that works. And Jack Nicholson's pretty funny in there, but
I thought the aliens were hilarious. Like, the way they look.
The people in that movie don't act like people.
Yes.
And it's hard to care about them.
Yeah. That's another one where I was like, I'm disappointed, but
yeah,
you know, I can find good parts of it. Here's another one that I can find good parts of. Sleepy Hollow.
Yeah, that one. I love that story.
Yeah.
And I've seen all of them. We've covered it with book versus movie, but this is also one of the ones I'm like, he's like 75% there.
Yes, exactly.
He's 75% there. It's just a little off, and it's annoying because it's so working in some parts, and it's the script.
Yeah. I love the fall vibes. It looks
great.
It looks amazing. It's got great spooky vibes. I think Christina Ricci is really great in it.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, you're right. It's like 75% there.
It's and one other one we covered, and it was 75% there.
He also did Big Fish.
I like Big Fish actually pretty much a lot.
I haven't seen it.
Pretty much a lot. Thank you. Sorry. I can't speak. I do remember Big Fish, and I remember really liking that one. I saw that one in the theater, but I saw it on like an awkward second date, and the whole time I was just cringy. And you got to get out of the room. Yeah, it was no fault of the movie that I didn't have a good time watching it. No, it's a good one. I think it's another one. It's based on a book.
Yeah. And then he did Planet of the Apes.
Which, how do you fuck that up? But you got apes.
Yeah.
And they're beating the shit out of people.
Yeah, no. Alice in Wonderland.
It's okay.
I'm like, this one it's another one where I was like, nah.
Yeah.
You know what it is? Like, it's the movies where he's decided to let Johnny Depp do a thing. I'm like, peace out. Like, those movies aren't for me. They didn't do each other favors. Yeah. They sniffed each other's farts, I think, in an artistic way. And I think they just like, oh my God. They're like, oh, I'm going to do this in the movie. Oh my God, you're so right. They sniffed each other's farts in an artistic way. In an artistic, they're sniffing each other's farts and going, oh, that's Jasmine. Gross. And then the last one is Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. Not good. No, not good. Not good. A lot of kids grew up watching that one, and that makes me sad for them because they should have grown up watching the other one instead. Yeah. Yeah. Do you want to hear the top 10 songs for when Beetlejuice came out? Yeah, I do. The day before my birthday in 1988. What? Let's hear it. It's March 28th. Pencil that in, everybody. March 29th is the actual birthday, but I will accept happy birthdays on the 28th. So number 10, my favorite Def Leppard song, Hysteria. Song is great. I love Def Leppard. I love.
Number 9, the Jets, Rocket to You.
I was totally into the Jets. This will surprise no one.
Number 8, George Michael, Father Figure.
Loved this whole album. Loved it. I was so into George Michael.
Yeah. Number 7, Keith Sweat, I Want Her.
Yeah, I love that song too.
Number 6, Belinda Carlisle, I Get Weak. Good song.
Y'all, I was so in love with Belinda Carlisle's red hair. It's what inspired me to dye my hair red. The minute I turned 18, I dyed my hair red. She's so beautiful in those videos. And I love those songs.
They're incredible. Yeah. Number 5, I love this song. Billy Ocean, Get Out of My Dreams, Get Into My Car.
Oh my God.
Hey,
okay. You.
Get out of my dreams. Who, me?
You. Get into my car.
Get out of my dreams. When it gets to that part, like, bum, 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 get out of my... Oh, my God, I fucking love it. Okay, number 7.
Song is so ridiculous. That's why I love it so much.
Number 7, Out of the Blue, Debbie Gibson.
Love Debbie Gibson. Loved her.
I was on board with her. Number 3, Never Gonna Give You Up, Rick Astley.
Never heard it. No, I'm just kidding.
Number 2, Richard Marx, Endless Summer Nights.
I loved Richard Marx.
Number 1, Michael Jackson, Man in the Mirror.
Yeah, song's fine.
It's fine. It's not his best, but
I love all of those songs. All of them. Yep.
It's hard to listen to those and listen to his list of grievances in them and being like, wow, if only a billionaire with a lot of money and empathy for these issues put a minute of his time into any of them.
Yep.
It would actually make a difference.
Yeah. It had a very self-righteous music video too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Self-righteous. That was a lot of...
It's like, yeah, I mean, I guess
I was going to say bless his heart, but...
Yeah. I'm like, I could, start with myself, I guess, and look in the mirror, but dude, you could have done a lot of good. Anyway. Yeah. What else are you dorking out about, my friend?
I don't know if you had a chance to see on Netflix The Deliverance, but it's...
Please tell me all about The Deliverance.
I can't tell you because it's so fucking insane. I'm not even sure what I saw. But it's Glenn Close, who's the matriarch in a family where she's the one white woman and all of the rest of the family is mixed race or black. And Lee Phillips, I think, is the director. Is that who I'm thinking of? He has her in these you've never seen Glenn Close and hoochie shorts and long nails and tons of cleavage. And she's just...
What is happening in this movie?
She is doing a thing.
I'm gonna look up some pictures right now.
It's a horror movie. It's got it's a spooky movie. It's got spiritual kind of thing to it. The performances are excellent.
Ooh.
I'm not sure that it makes a lot of sense. I'm not sure I could keep up with it. But I found it enjoyable. What can I say? If you're looking for something weird and spooky, it's different. It's doing a thing.
I like weird and spooky.
Yeah. So it's doing a thing.
Okay.
It's definitely on Hulu, Only Murders in the Building. I'm still watching. The season's really fun.
I haven't started yet. I need to start.
It's good. And then Secret Lives of Mormon Wives.
I started it, but I got distracted by The Perfect Couple on Netflix. I thought The Secret Lives of Mormon Wives was going to be a documentary series about the scandal itself, and it appears that it's actually the aftermath.
It's a bunch of moms in Salt Lake City, Mormon moms. They're very young. None of them's over 30.
Right.
They're all really young with kids, and they're only one of them is biracial. Everybody else is white and blonde. If you have face blindness, you're not going to figure anybody out.
You're
'Cause
all,
they-
and you are.
They get the same hair extensions,
Yes.
the same tanning, the same Botox. They get Botox once a month together because you get laughing gas when you go. I have never been giving laughing gas for anything in my life.
I did when I went to the dentist when I was like young, like when I was like a teenager. I had a lot of dental work done when I was a teenager, and I remember getting the laughing gas. It's great. It feels great.
Yeah, it's the only time they can get high because they're not allowed.
Oh,
They're Mormon.
I get it. Yes.
So
okay.
and then they even say, like, for some reason, like, you're not allowed to drink, and you're not allowed to swear, and you're not allowed to have sex outside of marriage, and you can't have caffeine, but God is okay with you getting as much Botox as you want and getting boob jobs. Like, it's this culture of perfection that people are trying to achieve. And I would have loved it if there was something of that in there. They're not self-aware enough. And I realized because they're 25, 26.
Yeah.
Like, they got married at 19. They're just trying to keep going. Couple of the couples, the husbands are so gay. It's
oh boy.
They're so closeted, and it breaks your heart because it's just like, he's on Tinder to meet dudes. You don't go on Tinder to meet women, I don't think.
What?
But yeah, there's these. They had these moms. There was a soft swinging going on, so there wasn't actual sex.
They're like making out with each other's spouses.
I guess like third base or something. Like, it's whatever. But then somebody got feelings for someone else, and it blew up the whole deal.
Yeah.
And they were all mom talkers. So they were all on TikTok during COVID doing dance routine.
Yeah.
And then one of them, their kid was in the hospital for having some sort of sodium problem. Like, it was really alarming. And they bring the kid home, and she's got no makeup on, and she's in her pajamas. And then she does like a TikTok video with her kid laying there, like,
oh my God.
Because she's like, I didn't know what else to do. And I'm like, this is, there's a difference between this and the housewives. The housewives are women. They've had their kids, they've had their marriages, they've had their first careers. These are very young women who just don't know what they're doing. And they had put all the episodes there. It just kept going on and on last night. At one point, I'm like, okay, I got to just stop because it's not changing. Like, it's just, but they're very, very young. They look exactly alike. One of them, one of them developed feelings, and she and her husband wound up getting divorced.
Right.
And then she wound up hooking up with another guy, and then she wound up pregnant by him. And then she lost that baby in a miscarriage. So then she went back to him, and they got pregnant again right away, even though they weren't in an exclusive relationship, and he was stooping someone else.
Oh my gosh.
And then he doesn't have a job, so he's moving into her house with her parents, raising this baby.
Oh,
and they're super Mormon, and they're like younger than us. Like, these people are young when they get started everything. And you think, they're like this point, like, oh, we want to retire soon and live on our own and golf or whatever the fuck people do. They don't want to like live with their grandchild, but
no, I'm sorry. That's the new childcare policy of the GOP. The grandparents have to take care of kids now. So sorry, grandparents.
I mean, it's bananas. Yes, I kept watching it. I don't know if I'll go back to it, but my talking points are they're very young and they haven't figured things out yet. And that's the difference between them and a Real Housewife.
Yeah, that makes sense to me. I think I watched like 15 or 20 minutes, and I was like, this isn't what I thought it was going to be. And I don't know what I think about that. So I went right back to The Perfect Couple on Netflix. Is there anything else on your list?
Nope, that's it.
Okay. Have you started The Perfect Couple on Netflix?
No.
Okay. This is the one with Nicole Kidman and Liv Schreiber as like a married couple, very rich in the like Hamptons. Or I think they're in the Hamptons. That sounds right. And there is a wedding happening, or it's getting ready to happen, I should say. It's like the night of the rehearsal dinner, and we start meeting all the different people. Like they have three sons. One is a huge fucking douchebag who's married to oh my God, Dakota Fanning from and she's so great and she's pregnant. And then the middle one is getting married, and it is the woman from oh shit, I should have wrote it down. The woman from Bad Sisters. Did you watch Bad Sisters?
Mm-mm.
Oh, you need to watch Bad Sisters. It's on Apple. So good. It's Eve Hewson, Bono's daughter.
Oh, I know who she is.
Yes. She's marrying the middle son, and then there's like a little baby son. And her like best friend shows up, maid of honor, and her best friend is Megan Fahey, who was in the second season of White Lotus. And somebody gets killed. I don't want to say who gets killed. And it's, you know, another one of those movies or shows where it like flashes back and forward and tells the story little by little as we try to figure out first of all, who's dead and who the murderer is. And I don't want to spoil anything, but the show is like appropriately soapy and fun. And I don't know if people, if anything, you've probably seen it's gone viral. The opening credits are basically like a dance number with the cast, including Nicole Kidman. They're all like doing like almost like a Bollywood dance number or something. It's very soapy.
It's a season.
Yeah.
Series.
Yeah, it's a limited
not a
series.
movie?
No, limited series. It's like 6 or 8 episodes. It's super watchable. I watched it in like over 2 days. I finished it already. You know, I didn't know who the killer was. But when they reveal, you're like, yeah, okay. Like it's very well done. It's very entertaining. It's super soapy. I really liked it. I recommend it if you're in the mood for that sort of thing.
When does Nicole Kidman sleep?
I don't
it seems
know.
Like she has like 4 movies out right now that she's promoting.
Because there's that one. She did the one with Zac Efron that I still haven't watched. And there's something else, right?
There's something she premiered at the Venice Film Festival, and it's a sexy movie. It's like it's got a lot of
right. Yeah,
it's an adult thriller. One of the old school 90s adult thriller types.
Those are my favorite.
I know. And she's always good. I mean, she's always, but like I've seen her so often the last few years.
Oh, it's called Baby Girl.
Yeah, Baby Girl. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll be seeing that too. I like Nicole Kidman. She's really, really good. And she's really good in this. And I love Liv Schreiber. I just like looking at him and I love that voice. And it's pretty funny in the series, like everyone's just like, he's super fuckable. They all just say it all the time. And I was like, he is. It's very entertaining. So I recommend that for sure. And then the new season of Selling Sunset started. I love how trashy the show is. First of all, it's house porn. You get to see amazing, beautiful LA mansions that sell for like $30 million. They're all like open floor plans, which is weird. Nobody apparently likes to have doors in LA. I don't know what that's about, but the houses are amazing. The women dress like they're all from the Hunger Games. Like they fight with each other all the time. It's very entertaining. I'm looking forward to watching a whole bunch of that tonight. And then, do you want to talk about Below Deck Med?
Yes. What happened?
They brought in a new stew.
I like her already.
And
the Scottish girl?
Yes.
She's adorable.
She's adorable. Everybody drink. And she instantly like connects with Aisha, as you should, because if you watch the shows at all, everyone knows that Aisha's a queen and delightful. Why you would come on the show and be shitty to her and think that anyone will like you is beyond me. Do they not watch the show?
You wonder.
Like, I don't understand. And instantly, like the guy Joe is like, "Oh, I'm gonna get some of that," and it's like he's not all that. I don't get it. Like he's good looking, but he's not like that good looking.
No. And I was reading somebody on Twitter or Threads posted like they were talking about The Bachelor, and which is a show I don't watch, but they were talking about there's a love affair between men that they love one another. They don't give it to the women around them. Yes. You know what I mean? And Joe is the king of that. He will not give a woman any kind of attention unless it makes his pee-pee happy. Yes. He just does not know how to have a conversation. He doesn't know how to make friends. Forget it. He doesn't know how to be coworkers with somebody. And it's I would feel sorry for him, but I'm so fucking sick of it in my lifetime of hearing fuckboys like him. Yeah. Acting like every woman is just someone to be rated and then discarded under his,
he's
sneering attitude.
Yes, he's a perfect example of the type of dude that likes to fuck women, but he doesn't like women.
Right.
Like he has no interest in getting to know them.
He says to her when he asks her, she asks him out on a date, and then he says no. He said yes, and then he says no. And it's like, fine, if you don't want to go, you don't go. Bad dates are rough to sit through. Everyone's been there. But his whole thing was like, the next person I'm going to date is the woman I'm going to marry. Like he cannot sit and have a conversation over a meal with another woman that he wants to fuck.
No,
he cannot know her in any sort of way except carnally. And that's pathetic.
Grow up, dude. Grow up. Do better. Like this shit doesn't fly anymore. Women don't accept this anymore. Like we used to put up with your shit. We don't put up with that shit anymore. We'll just move on. We'll be fine by ourselves. We don't need you.
Right. And he's going to find that out when he's middle-aged and he's not as cute. He's going to be like, I was so handsome and funny and smart and everyone liked to be around me. I'm like, meh. Meh.
I don't watch The Bachelor either. And I heard that there was a lot of controversy with The Bachelorette finale this week. And like, I guess she proposed to someone and he said yes. And then the minute the cameras were off, he like broke up with her.
Oh, and then he explained it live.
Yeah.
And anyway,
these shows need to start screening people better. Like
they have so many they're filming, they can't do it. They have so many people and it's their timelines are so tight. Like I hear what you're saying, but I don't see it changing anytime soon.
Yeah. It feels so icky.
It is icky. That's the point.
Yeah, I guess you're
that's
right.
Why I don't watch them. Right. That's what I'm saying. Like, that's why I don't watch it. So when he's on there behaving that way, that's when I get annoyed because it's like, I don't need that shit. Put that on The Bachelor. Y'all are okay with that there. Don't bring it to my show here. That's my point. And he's bringing it here. And then, poor Nathan loses his friend. And you could just tell Joe didn't know how to talk to him.
No.
I mean, he's so disconnected from human feelings and conduct. Yeah. And it's like another one. He's like 20-something idiot. And I'm like, ugh. And then 20s are bad.
They are. You make so many mistakes in your 20s. Yeah. So many
And I have
mistakes.
empathy there, but it's also sometimes it's just irritating.
Yeah.
But anyway, so she gets a new person because they're worn out. Like they're supposed
also,
to have
it's a big
4
boat.
stews.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a huge boat. And they normally have 4 stews, and they had a flooding in one of the cabins, and everybody thought to fix it until this Medicaine came through.
Yes.
And it's like a hurricane, but it's in the med, so they call it a Medicaine. And then all this water was coming into the boat, and then they were like, and you heard about that? Did you hear about that yacht that sank?
Yes.
And oh God, it gave me the creeps.
Scary.
But it's very scary. But anyway, they get this girl because they needed the help. And then Ellie is just like, well, she's fourth stool and I'm second stool, so I'm her boss.
Yeah.
It's like, you don't know how to do lunch service, ma'am. You can't make
even know how to make a
Bloody
drink.
Mary. You could take all the seats, okay?
Yeah, she's instantly offended and instantly worried about the hierarchy of everything. And it's like, bitch, just do your job.
Just do your job.
Do your job. And they like show her like watching videos about branded partnerships and stuff. Like, talk about someone who's not on the show for the right reason. Like,
right.
Ugh. She's just such a stupid bitch.
She's just a true narcissist.
Yes.
And yeah.
Yeah, and
everyone knows somebody like her.
Yeah, and she's like, I'm doing a great job, and it's like, you're not. You're not. It's
no.
Oh boy, it's sometimes it's really hard to watch someone that clueless.
She's delusional.
Yes,
and that also can be frustrating. Yeah,
so delulu. Such
very
a good show.
delulu. But it's so great. It's so fun to watch.
It's so great. And then soon, like, Real Housewives of New York will be back, and Real Housewives of Salt Lake City is going to be back. It's happening.
This fall is going to...
It's going to be the best.
Kids say.
It's going to be the best. Well, this was fun. I'm glad we got to talk about Beetlejuice. My friend, can you tell people where they can find you on the internet?
You can find me at brooklynfitchick.com, and I'm at Brooklyn Fit Chick for Thread.